What's up, lads? How's it going? How's it going? So, just finished watching the season finale of Peacemaker, and I got up and I was like, well, I could do the dishes, I could be productive, I could do all of the homework I need to do before tomorrow at midnight, or I could go to the camera and record the YouTube video for this week. So that's what we're doing. Um, there's gonna be spoilers for Peacemaker in this because I want to talk about it. That's why I'm here. I'm talking about the show. Yeah. So you've been warned. So, anyways, the show itself, I like the whole new season. The whole new season's great. It's like it's really good at building up fun action, and it's really good at the misdirections, but also like in the usual James Gunn fashion, it's like there's so many things you can see, and it's like you kind of know what's gonna happen before it's gonna happen, but it's not like they still like little surprises, right? Like it's fun. It's fun. So my problem with it is this last episode because out of all of the episodes, I think this one might have been the most disappointing. I know people all season were complaining about like how short the episodes were compared to season 1 because season 1 had pretty much 45-minute to an hour episodes for every, just like all of them were that long, and it felt like it really used the time well. And this season, people were complaining a lot because they were like 30-minute episodes. Some of them were like sub 30, like 27 minutes. I know that's like picking hairs about sub 30, but with credits and stuff, that's like, what, 24 minutes? And it felt like there were things that were being cut where it could have been like a bigger story, right? Like you could have fleshed out some stuff and left less of it to the imagination. This last episode was an hour and 7 minutes, I think, including credits. But it still felt rushed. It still felt like it either could have been 2 episodes that were both an hour long, or it could have just been like an hour and a half, and you could have done a little bit more world building. And with how hyped up the last episode was as being like the best episode of the season, which I think it probably it might have been. I don't know if I think it's the best episode of the season, but I think the 7th episode is the best episode of the season, but I'll get into that in a second. So it was like this episode was really hyped up as being the like end all be all best episode of the season. It was gonna blow your mind. It was gonna be, oh, this is what the DCU is gonna be. And I see what the meaning of that was. Like I understand it, but I don't think it was a great season finale because it's so stupid, especially because James Gunn has already said that they're not really planning to make a season 3 of Peacemaker because the idea now is that they're in the world of the DCU, so there's no reason to continue Peacemaker, especially at the end of season 3. I mean, especially at the end of season 2 in this last episode where they just like got rid of Peacemaker. Like, be so serious, man. Like, what are we doing? I get it. I get it in the story, but like, are we being so serious right now? Like, come on. What an unsatisfying ending. How do you build up the whole season is this great great him coming to terms with himself kind of story, and then you're just like, oh yeah, it didn't matter. He's gone. Goodbye. Bye, dude. But obviously, I mean, there's no way he's dead. If we're being like super real, there's no shot. But it's just so unsatisfying of an ending. Like, don't get me wrong. Watching the episode, I knew that the happy ending was not the ending of the episode because there was just no way that was the case with the tone of the show and how different of the tone that was. It wasn't going to be a happy ending. But are we being so serious? He's just like gone now. Like, what are they going to do about that? Are they going to like go get him? They don't. What? Like, what? But this is supposed to be the idea of like the whole DCU is connected. It's like a world, but the stories aren't necessarily one after the other. It's just like general stories in a universe, right? So what's the point of ending the show where you're just like, oh yeah, we don't know what happened to the main character? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What? He doesn't even like, maybe it would be like kind of interesting if he like had his suit and he was like, oh, we don't know what happened to him, but he's got stuff. but he's just some guy, and they just threw him in a random fucking alien planet, and they're just like, yeah, good luck, man. Get shit on. Like, what are we doing? What is that? What is that end? What is the end of that story? That is fake. Be so serious. But anyways, I think episode 7 was the best episode of the season. Just like full stop. It, in my opinion, it was the best episode. There were nice mix-ups. It was entertaining. It was action-packed, and it was the whole climax of everything that they've been doing the whole season got resolved in episode 7. And then in episode 8, the last episode, it's just a bunch of random shit that felt like it could have been like half the season, or like maybe another third of the season. Like if there were 12 episodes, I could see it being like the last 4 episodes was everything that happened. Maybe that's stretching it a little bit, but it felt rushed being one episode. It felt like they did the whole arc of the season in the first 7. And then the last episode was like, oh, by the way, there's this, and we're getting rid of the main character now. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Because the whole season up to that point was like pretty good. I liked it, and I was like waiting every week. I was like, what's happening this week? It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun, because the first season was like the whole season was an arc, and then this one, for some reason, episode 8 was like this big grand reveal. Supposedly, like this is what it was hyped up to be, and then it's just a long episode, but it still felt short, and it was like, what are we doing? This is not a satisfying ending, especially if we're not bringing back the show and he's just going to show up in another project. Like, where? What? How? And hey, maybe it'll happen sooner than later. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody knows except for James Gunn, and he's not saying anything because that's like the whole secret, right? But it's just, as a show, I see how it works in the grand scheme of everything. But as a show, how do you end the season and perhaps just like everything about the show on that note? Like, be so serious. I don't know. It makes sense in the bigger universe. As a show, though, what are we doing? What? But yeah, I like the season. I just thought the last episode was stupid. But yeah, that's kind of it. Psych. Actually, I'm back with more thoughts. I thought about it some more. While I was making the thumbnail for the video. So it's kind of stupid. We're back to ranting about the last episode. It's kind of stupid that they took all the characters and tried to wrap them up in the final episode. And like, what is the point? Like, what is the point of all that? Like, why did they feel the need to conclude Adebayo's relationship the way they did, where they're just like, because obviously they're the two of them, their lives are not going the same way, so they shouldn't be together. Like, yes, obviously, duh. But why, after a whole like season of not even talking about it, why did they feel the need to, at the very like end of the last episode, go in and just be all just like get rid of it real fast? Just be like, oh yeah, I forgot to zoom the camera. Just be like, oh yeah, yeah, we shouldn't be together. This sucks. Let's cry about it for approximately half a second, and then just call it a day, and we're all good. We're Gucci, man. We're good. We're going back to what we're doing now. We're going back to the regularly scheduled episode of Peacemaker now. Like, what is the point? Why? If you're not even if you're barely gonna acknowledge it the whole rest of the season, why do you bring it up at the end? And you're just like, yeah, we closed that plot thread. We don't need to worry about that anymore. It seems that's so stupid. It's so stupid. It felt like there was a little bit of depth there when it was like, oh, she's kind of running from her past and she doesn't really know what she's supposed to do about it, so she's ignoring the problem, and that's a character flaw. And now she's growing because she goes and deals with what is obviously a character flaw. Oh, I'm being kind of rude and kind of a little annoying about this. I should just go break things off. Yes, but why do we do it after not talking about it for a whole season? We've barely acknowledged it this season, and now we're just like, oh, let's just go do it. Same thing with Chris and Hardcore. Like, it's been a theme the whole season, and then they're just like, happy times. Actually, we're all just emotionally stunted, and yeah, it's fine. It's exactly what it's supposed to be, and we're not going to explain. We're not going to really show it at all. We're going to give you like a little glimpse of it in this like this cutscene moment, and then we're gonna end the episode, in which it actually doesn't matter because Chris is in a different fucking dimension now. Oh my god, it doesn't matter. It never mattered in the first place, and it's just insane. Like be so serious. Also, what is the deal with Judo Master and the one woman whose name I don't even remember because they said it like maybe twice, but the metahuman woman, the cyborg woman, what is the point of them being on in the like the crew now? Same thing with that one guy, the comic relief guy who was just like weird, the weirdo guy, the make everybody uncomfortable guy who, albeit is funny, but why are the three of them all in the crew now? Why do they get to be part of the what did they call it, like checkmate agency or something? Why do they get to be part of that? Who invited them? I know the one guy who's like weird and makes everybody uncomfortable and nobody likes. He was like, "Oh, I have a change of heart. They're actually evil, and this is bad." But why did they let him in? It's like Judo Master. Like, there was no point where Peacemaker and really the rest of them besides Adebayo were like, we like Judo Master now, which I guess, to be fair, it seems like Adebayo was in charge of the agency, but you think they would all be like, no, we have a veto, we're not bringing in Judo Master, because why does he care? Why does he care? I know his whole thing in season 1 was like, oh, we got to make the world better, we got to trust these butterflies, but at this point he's just like working for the government, man. Why does he care to join this agency? And then the same thing with the cyborg woman. Why? Well, I get that she like wants to do something good with her life. Like, I get that about her character, but there was nothing I feel like there was nothing in the season that was hinting at this until the very last episode where she's like, "Oh, there's people dying. Oh no, let's go kill some other people." That's the end goal here. They're just gonna go kill some other people. So why does it? What? And then prison for metahumans, but she doesn't care. But she cares not because she's a metahuman, but just because that's bad. Like, are we being serious? I feel like this is a whole 180 on her character. She just decided to change up and be like, "Oh yeah, actually, I hate the government. I hate that they gave me. Did the government give her like cyborg abilities because she was dying?" And not that means she has to be loyal to them forever, but this change up is crazy. I don't know why she has to change up on everybody and not just Rick Flag Sr. And I know you might be like, he's in charge of everything. He kind of just do whatever he wants because he's like Amanda Waller now. But, I mean, all they did to take down Amanda Waller in the first season was Adebayo just went on the news and was like, "Hey guys, this is what's happening. Here's the proof. I'm her daughter, so like I have a reason to do it." Like, they have like 8 of them. They couldn't just do that again. Like, the cyborg woman has security clearance. She could just be like, "I'm second in charge. This is what's happening. This is insane. They're making a prison. They're making an illegal prison on a different fucking dimension in a different world. This is what they're doing, guys. We shouldn't do this." Like, they couldn't just go to the news again. They had to be like, "Oh, we're making a spy company now, and yeah, what are we doing? Yeah, we're stopping crime, man. We're helping the people." But they didn't do anything about the prison. They all know about this prison, and they're just like, we'll do other things. Like, nobody else knows about the prison, and now it's like, oh, doesn't matter because Peacemaker's not there anymore. He's stuck in the other dimension. And like, low key. Also, if we're being like super, super, super real, not only were there like creatures in the other dimension, there's no way there's not like people. There's no way they like actually like. I bet it's gonna be like, there's some people, and it's like, or somebody finds him, or they throw some metahumans in there, and they're like, "Oh, it's this guy. This guy's chill. Like, he's not dead. He's not gonna be dead. Just let's just be real here." But it's just insane how many switch ups they had in the last episode when they spent the whole season like building up things, and then they're just like, actually, yeah, we're gonna do it this way now. We're gonna end on a like happy note, but actually we're not gonna end on a happy note, but we're gonna make you think we are. But I mean, obviously they weren't gonna do that. But What? Be so serious. Rest of the show, though, amazing. This is actually where we're going to end. Yes. Goodbye. Adios.